all inclusively. It's ingrained inherently. No sin within, no end to win, yet invincible. See into seeing. From the invisible.
Very good. Om. Namaste. Welcome everyone to today's Satsang. And also welcome to all the friends who are looking in from joining us from different parts of the world today, as they do on Sundays now. And good. Looking very much forward to how this each moment unfolds now. And very good. I'd like to say I really invite you, if you feel, those among you who feel something that you want to bring forward, to not be shy and come forward with that. Already one hand is up. You can make your way. Come.
I'll try and see if I can phrase this correctly. Over the last few weeks, with the kind of seeings that have taken place, there's enormous gratitude as well as a fear of pride, a fear of that pride may come in and take this, or arrogance can come in and sort of claim this. At one end, I feel like it might just be the mind saying, "Don't worry, I've got your back. I'll take care of you." This pride is good. This fear is good, or it could be something genuine. I don't know. I just wanted to bring it out. And
It is a good thing to be mindful of something like that. Because very often, it has been my observation also that people who come to a moment of insight suddenly become very arrogant. like now I'm discovered something. I'm something special now. I know what. I don't need you anymore. I don't need this now. This. So this is one of the first signs to be aware of that. No, that it comes up, and if you are mindful of this, then it means that you have it somehow in check. That you're aware something is present. That observe these tendencies, perhaps, and so this kind of alertness will serve you. You see.
But it feels like it is also preventing me from just falling into that. Like,
Why?
I don't know. It just feels like a tug. It just feels like, because when I just let things happen, it just becomes unimportant after a while. Like, I don't notice it anymore. It's not. I wouldn't be speaking about things which I'm not resisting internally. Like, it just flows and it's out. But this, it's just like something's holding. Something's just like, something wants to know what am I going to fall into. Something wants to know the depth of it. In a sense. Like,
Oh, that one. Yeah, because this is the instrument of mind is what we have always relied upon. Everybody's private Google. Mind is going to tell you everything, what you should, where you should go, whether something is worthy, trustworthy, all these things. Very private, very personal thing. And so there is an hesitation there, of course, because what I'm talking when I speak about mind, I'm talking about mind in the form of personal identity. Some fear because the consciousness has assumed the role of a person. That's a severe limitation upon the pure formless consciousness. So you as consciousness, we all, you have to say like that, nobody's exempt, come into the world of conditioning through the belief I am this body. Of course, consciousness needs a body in order to experience life, diversity. But somehow in functioning in a body, identification arises in the body that I am this body. And then there is a shrinking down of the formless. It becomes a portrait of itself as a person. And then this person is a kind of psychological entity that is having so much dreams, so much judgment, so much fears, so much idiosyncrasies. You see? And pride also. It trusts in its own concepts, its own belief systems, its own notion of itself, has pride in its learning and so on. So this is what happens. And it seems as though it is meant to be a part of the expression, part of the play of consciousness, that we will all go through that for a time, and gradually to emerge, either because our dreams fail or projections won't. They blow up. Our understanding of life becomes a kind of confusion, all these things. We don't like that, but at the same time they make way for a deeper understanding, a deeper experience, deeper realization of the truth, like that. So that is what primarily is the substance of a seeker. It is the consciousness itself which has fallen under the hypnosis of its own projections and then suffers them, and through suffering then starts to yearn for completion again, unity again. This is the journey of spirituality, of religion, of human life. It's like that. And again, now we pay so much attention to what the mind says. We're somehow so often, you've looked at how often it has presented a distorted image of the world and judgments which are totally unfair about other beings. You see that it is quite unreliable, and yet we cannot give it up. You see?
These usually come in the form of just passing thoughts. These are not. I'm well aware that it's just something that's passing. But the moment it's held on to, then it becomes something tangible. But in a sense, I'd
Then don't
imagine.
hold on to them. Then don't hold on to them. Can you not hold on to them?
But why should they be there? Like,
Why should they be there?
as in, as in, why should they come? Like they.
That's a foolish question. Why should the sea, why should the ocean have waves? Why should they come? Is the ocean troubled about it? It is only, you see, these kind of thoughts can only intimidate the idea you have of yourself. It cannot intimidate the truth. It cannot intimidate the pure self. It can only raise doubts in the false self, in the limited self. You are the unlimited self, but temporarily we are under the hypnosis or the spell that we are this personal self. The personal self is not a harmony. It's always deficient in something. It's always a lacking. It is consciousness that is playing the role of the person also. But through the suffering, the arrogance, the resistance, the doubts, the confusion, the depression that accompanies the personal identity of consciousness, that very suffering forces it to look for something more pure, more lasting, more truthful. You see?
Yeah.
And you will come to transcend the influence of thoughts. You cannot stop thoughts. I would not recommend to anybody try and stop thoughts. There are some yogic exercises you can do, some breathing exercises you can do, even in pranayama or different form of exercises, practices you can do that will arrest the thoughts, that will slow them down or stop them for the duration of the practice. But when this practice stops, they come again, like that.
I was always under the assumption. I lived under the assumption that maybe, after a certain seeing, maybe certain thoughts will become, say, loving thoughts or compassionate thoughts or.
Yes. Best way, I'll tell you, best way then how to be in this world of thoughts, these waves of thoughts. First, you have to find out who you are. That's the first thing to find out. Rather than finding out everything else, try and discover what it is that you are truthfully. Most of us, we believe and act from the place of personality, treating personality as though it is a fact rather than a fiction. Nobody questions themselves about it. We assume, if you listen to any conversation in any place you may go to, where there are people gathering and talking together, you will listen and hear that almost always when we say I, it is arising in the form of I am the body, I am the person. But I is not the person. I is not the body. I is not the person. I actually signifies consciousness. I is as pure being. And its most beautiful activity, you may say like that, is the detached witnessing of all that arises as manifestation, including what happens in this body. We are thinking that we are the doers in this body. We are doing this, doing that. But even your activity that arises in this body arises from this vital force itself. Is playing out according to, you may say, the programming or the destiny of this body, mind, expression. I don't know if I've lost you when I speak like this, but it is the most simple and most direct thing I can say to you.
There is a recognition of this, that I expected, at this point in time there is,
Even the I who is expecting, you strongly identify with this I that is expecting something. You think it is really you, but it is just another version of you. And you've passed through many versions of yourself. We've had many different portraits of ourselves. Presently, this is another one now. But behind this is a deeper awareness, which is not a personality. Each one must come to find this, to discover this. Today is a good day for that also, to discover that. And then you will see that somehow the sense I have of myself, I've been living in the idea I have of who I am. But what I really am is this which has no name even. Now, we don't speak and hear much about this. Why? Because you cannot make any money out of it. You cannot be famous being everything. You cannot be special being nobody. So no one wants it. Everybody wants something to be proud about, to say, look, I've been here and done that. That is also part of the expression of consciousness in the face of what I would call ignorance. Consciousness also expresses as wisdom and also as ignorance.
Verify something with you. It is felt that the mind can fall away only if it is disengaged with, and not as an action, not as engage or disengage, but just to be. And is that what is likely to happen?
Something watches mind. Why give mind a job which even when it accomplishes it will not be stable? Why give mind a job that even if it accomplishes this job and the one who accomplishes it is not stable? Something is earlier than mind. You are earlier than mind. You are aware of the mind. You are aware of personality. You are aware of time. You are aware of dreams, projections, expectations, memories. All of this come and go in front of you. Who are you? You are the witness of them. Nobody can deny these things, in fact. How many times the mind has risen up? Where is it now? It's gone. Everything come and go. How many times you feel, oh, this is my last day? Some people, maybe they feel they've never felt that. But if you have been sick or been in a fight or something like this, you may have had such an experience where you know this could be your last moment. They came and gone because you're here also. So many things you're witnessing to come and go, arise and also pass away. That which witnesses these waves of thought or sensation or emotion, what is that? Is that itself a thought? Is that itself a wave? That which witnesses the wave passing, is that itself a wave? Is it not you? But not the way you're used to thinking of yourself. You're not accustomed to thinking of yourself in this way. We have so much embraced the dynamic functioning as ourself. The dynamic functioning of life is passing also. But you hold on to that and think it is me, I am the doer of it. So if you embrace it like you are the doer of the actions, then you will pay for those actions. And this is how the play of karma comes into being. I don't know, have I lost you in speaking like this? I can only point you to the most direct. There are many paths, most are indirect. They will take time. They will say after so much time you will get to this stage. But the place you are trying to get to, if it is the truth, that place is also here now. Can you see this or not? If truth is what we say truth, what you mean by truth? Also, we have to come back to fundamental things again. What you mean by truth? If the truth is, what is truth? Maybe for some people truth is like some very, very sacred concept or something. A discovery that you know with the mind. That is not true. That is not truth. What is truth? Miracles? You want miracles? Is that truth? That is not truth. You want to be the best person you can be? That is not truth. You want to live forever? And that is not truth. The truth is without form. When you discover again your formless being, when you discover, and it can happen in any moment, there must be some openness, there must be the desire, also the urge for liberation, for freedom in some way. That must be present in you. You don't create that. The same power that brought you here also brings you here for that possibility. So truth cannot be something that comes and goes. It is not a commodity. It cannot be owned. It cannot be possessed by anybody. It is the most pure. It is ever present. It is timeless. It cannot be conceived of through the mind. Go beyond the mind completely, and you are in that realm of truth. But truth does not hide. There's nothing that can hide the truth except ignorance. And we are here to try and clear that up.
There's a recognition that this is that which I am is beyond even remembering, because even remembering is known.
Even remembering is seen also, yes.
But the old conditioning is still, it's not gone, it's still,
That is also seen. That is also seen. That is also perceivable. So it cannot be your goal. That is also something, when I say it is seen, it means that it's passing. It will pass also. All these things you're seeing, they will pass. What is that which cannot pass? You cannot show that. You can only be that. At the moment, we have a concept that these things are important, that you must catch hold of them, you must do something, you must possess them. But even those things which are passing, you cannot possess. And what is not passing, you cannot possess. You can only be. We spend a lot of time in our heads. Too much time. Why? Because our very identity is constructed out of thoughts, out of ideas. But you forget that you are the witness of ideas. You are the witness of emotion. That's not to say anything is wrong with emotion. But when you identify, I am that, then you create a limitation inside your being, as we are doing with so many things. With so many things we identify, where there's no need to identify. It's only out of habit. We think that you must be somebody in order to experience life. Not at all. You don't have to be a somebody. There's something that is, that doesn't have to try to be what it is. It already just is. There's a place of isness within your own being. It's not trying to be isness. But in front of it, there's something that's fiercely trying to be is. Trying to be I, trying to be that. But that one who is trying to be that, trying to get that, also is only an idea itself. But it is the most seductive idea for consciousness. The identity of personhood. It is so attached to this idea of itself. Although the ideas cannot stay, they keep changing. How many ideas you've had about yourself growing up? Who you thought you were? Oh, yes, this is how I am. I can't change who I am. But it keeps on changing. So that cannot be the stable self. Something is always changing, and something is aware of the things changing also. Bottom line? What is bottom line?
I wanted to expose if this is just some mind stuff, or is it something to be basically vigilance versus resistance, like
most things are mind stuff. 99% of things are mind stuff. That's not to say the mind is some. No, the mind also is consciousness also. But when mind is in service to the identity of a person, then it becomes very volatile. When mind is in service to the self, then it is beautiful. When it is in service to the ego, then it is terrible. You choose.
I've chosen all this while, and I know that it just got me into
What
trouble.
I'm trying to point you to is something that's even earlier than choice. Few get it. Why? It is the most natural, you see. But in itself, it requires no effort. But everybody wants to make effort. When consciousness becomes a somebody, it comes into the realm of effort. And it doesn't know anything else but effort. I wanna be, Mr. Wannabe, Miss Wannabe. But something already is. And it seems in very few cases does it seem to hold value for itself. We give value to only what is passing. This is why we come to grief. We give value to only what is transient. Even this body that we need in order to enjoy our desires, even this body you cannot keep. But there's something inside this body that far outshines the life of this body. While the body is warm, find that which is timeless. It is the most simple thing. The most simple thing is simple beyond the concept of simple. It is just what is. Everything else is suffering through the mind. We are so educated. Every nation, every culture has to live within the groove of its own conditioning. I was saying just a couple of weeks ago about Zen. In the Zen culture, most people have been brought up with that kind of Zen attitude, Zen mentality. Somehow, a master may say something to them, or a slap, and suddenly the mind drops away. I said, yes, that is so because the Zen culture prepares the mind for that kind of Zen response. In the West, a different kind of response will be. We'll respond within our own cultural references. You see, here we use mind a lot, we think a lot. So when it comes time for that which is spontaneous, we all feel a bit disabled. We don't know how to be spontaneous. Well, there's no how to be spontaneous. Like somebody saying, now act naturally. How you act naturally. Immediately you see how clumsy you are. But we're so accustomed to using mind, so you want to use your mind to find that which is no mind. But the very functioning of the mind is what from no mind. I would like you to see from my place of looking. Not sitting in a chair, but from the place of looking. I give very little importance to that mind. For practical things, of course, I need mind. Do things and how to learn something about this is okay. But for the self, for finding out who you are, cannot help you. Not in that way. Its use is very, very restricted. You are earlier than mind. You can live without the psychological mind, but the psychological mind cannot exist without you. So judge which is the greater then. Is it the mind that's looking at you? Or you looking at the mind? These things we must be clear about. Otherwise, confusion comes. When you are in deep sleep, there is no mind, and you are quite happy. Now you're awake, now mind is come, then we're not happy so much. Now the thing is to be awake. To be awake and to have the best of both worlds. To be awake when the senses are alive, also the functioning of mind is there, intellect is there, memory is functioning, all these things are there, but you are not attached to them. Meaning, you're not needing, not needy. They are natural functionings of this body, and this body is here to serve consciousness and the life force. Let them do their place. And through this, you are also in this, of course, because consciousness is everywhere. I'm also here, enjoying. I can have the sense of you and everyone sitting here, and the temperature today, and all of these things. But for more than that, to build more stories into that is not needed. And everything is functioning totally spontaneously. I don't have to create my life. The life is unfolding out of itself. But if you want to create your life, then you will have to take responsibility and the consequences of your own projections and ideas. That is okay too. Everybody do what they want to do. Let everybody do what they want to do, as compelled by their own nature, their own destinies, or karmas, whatever you want.
So used to becoming that being is, seen as a...
Nobody's attracted to being because it already is. You cannot be proud to be, because everyone is. You want to be proud to be someone special. That's different. The sense of becoming is only some troublesome in the mind because something has not fully embraced its own self. You are the self. You are yourself. I want to say, leave yourself alone. Something takes care of it. You see, there was a time when I would probably give more attention to this type of question, but I'm not able to at the moment. I want to tell you, throw it. Forget about, throw all this stuff. Forget about it. Throw all that stuff for a minute. Leave it aside. As you pick up your mind, you pick up trouble for me. You pick the mind up and this thing happened, you say, oh please, no. Keep quiet. We're all going around with a lot of stories because you think other people enjoy them. Like they really want to know about you. Nobody wants to know about you. Why does somebody want to know about you? Unless they ain't got a life for themselves. Why do they want to know about you? Oh, I'm really interested in you. Why? Why would you? What are you interested in? When you are not interested at all, then you can enjoy pure company. When you don't have to be interesting to other people, then you're free. Then someone very much enjoy this kind of company. This chap, I met him, he doesn't want anything at all. He doesn't want anything from me or from anyone at all. But he's not proud of it. He's not saying, look, I don't want anything. No, it just seems to be so spacious. Have you met people like this? It's not that they don't care. They don't have this, I don't care. No, it's not an attitude. It's a sort of space. When you're a bit empty of you, the person you, then something inside your present is vast. Vast, you see. When you're full of you, there's like a bad smell around. And no one enjoys it. We just tolerate. This emptiness that I speak about, you are invited to this party of emptiness. Everybody welcome. No cost. No expectations. Don't pay attention to what your mind has to say about it. There is a space within us that your mind is so afraid of it. The cultured mind is so afraid to simply rest in peace. Who is resting in peace? You go to the cemetery, you see rest in peace. Rest in peace. Who in the living world you see is resting in peace? Even in the graveyard, they're not resting in peace. I say for one moment, few moments, don't touch any thought about how you want to be, who you should be, what you were before, what you want to be in the future. Don't hold on to any self-definition just for a few moments. Just to allow yourself to come to a place of seeing that is rarely visited within your own self. Be completely empty. Turn away from the conditioning. Oh, they're going to come back. The energy will come back through the mind. But for the moment, you can say, okay, it will come, but I'm not going to engage with that right now. So leave everything and come deeper within. Come inside more. Go beyond all of those things for a moment. It should not take anybody long. It doesn't even take time. Just intention, not time. And even when you come here, your mind is itching. It's got something to say. Yeah, but how can I stay here? How can I live? And it's still scratching. You're aware of that. Don't engage. Simply be in that place where you don't have to be somebody. You don't have to be a wife. You don't have to be a husband. You don't have to be prime minister. You don't have to be special. You don't have to be knowledgeable. You don't have to be a nice person. Just you are. Visit this place. Consciously you can do it now. Every support is here to assist you into that seeing right now you can do. And don't ask your mind how it feels about it. When you have done it, you tell me if there's anything that you have used your mind for that can compare with this moment.
No.
No. And it's not even a moment in time. It's not a clock moment. It's not now, next, next. It's not like this. Next, next are also concepts. This is the timeless now.
Okay.
Mind is offering many things to you. Mind offers many things, but even the greatest salesman in the world cannot sell you if you don't buy. Mind has many sales tricks. You want to be special? Take a look at this. It seems as though it knows exactly the approach to make for each one. Why? Because it is not outside you. It arises from inside. It's said that also in the story, according to the Gospel, the story of Jesus Christ. After his baptism, he was led by the Spirit, it says, into the wilderness, where we spent 40 days and 40 nights. Why are you going to the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights? To find something that you're not going to find easily amongst your friends or in the city. It's pulled there. He didn't say, I'm going to go there for 40 days and 40 nights. He found that this time simply happened, and there it says the devil came. Where did he come from? And presented certain enticing, seemingly enticing, temptable options. And each one of these temptations, it says Christ overcame them. Why? Not through arrogance, not through pride. Out of his own silence, he responded to that voice, that arose from within himself. How can you be tempted if you're not temptable? You can only be tempted by something if you are temptable. To be tempted is not a sin, but the chance is to use the temptation to transcend them. And that's what happened. That's the greatness of that story, to transcend that temptation. And the mind is called also the tempter. Also, it is tempting you towards some things that you have a certain weakness for that, and through this you must overcome that temptation, and again you're back in your natural state. And the temptations are also a part of consciousness's expression in order to help itself mature. I have said earlier that the consciousness seems to create the sense of a problem in order to experience transcending it. The pure self is within us as our own most profound being. That is the truth, where all things must end up in the truth of our own self. It's not somewhere else. But in front of it, many masks appear, and each one we seem to have a fascination for each mask, the mask of conditioning, of dreams, projections, and so on. And we walk behind them for a while until they become too heavy for you. Then you'll drop them. One day all our masks will be unveiled, pulled away. Today is a good day. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Very good. Thank you. Down. Please come. Hi.
I feel so happy to be here with you for a few hours. Thank you.
Oh, very good.
Thank you. I wanted to report back from our time in Zimar and what happened afterwards, and then hopefully get a little bit of guidance from you.
Yeah.
In Zimar, you managed to take a sword to my ego, which I asked you to do, and that was beautiful at the time. But when I came home again, ego wanted its seat back. And so I had lots of ups and downs, and I feel very blessed because I've got a beautiful husband who walks the same path. And so we keep reminding each other, like, keep watching it, and that's what we've been doing. And since actually only recently I did a meditation, and I just started to notice the images all the time, how my mind makes images, and I kept getting rid of them, and then I came into a really black area without images, but just watching, and I was still aware of watching the blackness. So, and from that moment there was like a process started, not in that particular session, but afterwards, constantly, like can the seer be seen? And my mind nearly my head nearly wanted to split. And then I realized it's not through my mind I'm going to find it. So finally I got just a tiny glimpse, because it was very fleeting, but for me it was very profound, because it gave me certain understanding. And I felt, and I don't know if this is right or wrong or whatever, of mind or whatever, but I felt, I really experienced for myself that there was all of a sudden a sea of love. I was in a sea of love.
Yes.
And I was aware of the eyes watching. Now this was behind. I was behind. Obviously still aware, but okay. And I just, actually, it's been a process, and I just realized, because I used to read the Bhagavad Gita every day. Every day I used to read a chapter, and I always used to skip one chapter, and that was the one where Krishna materializes in this being with so many eyes, and that used to frighten me so much. So I didn't like that image. But all of a sudden I realized that that's what it is. I mean, we are all the eyes of God and the consciousness. And so it was just a real revelation for me to realize that actually I am that being behind there.
Yes.
But it was so fleeting, and I don't know really, should I wait for something to... I go back, obviously, but should I wait for something to snap, or is this like a general, gradual...
Don't treat that as an experience now, that the mind may catch hold of that, like that was a glimpse, like a little, just a snapshot, and now it's gone, you see. But also that glimpse was also seen, also, no? Yes. We still as yet cannot accept on some subtle level that is still the underlying reality right here. It is just here. It's not an experience like, wow. So the mind has that insight, but that insight, and it's necessary also, it will feel like this. But gradually something settles down to a place where it's not taking stock of events, or even the event of seeing somehow takes place inside. That's beautiful. But even that, you may feel like it's in time, that came and gone. But that in which it is seen, that it is always here.
And I actually know that. I know it's there, and I know that I don't...
There is where, you know it's there where. You know it's there when you say, I know it's there. Where is there?
I know it's here. I know it's here, and I know ego or mind stepped in.
Yes.
Because I wasn't expecting
you
it.
who say, I know it's there, where are you in location to there? You can slow down, so you don't just speak from your head about it. When you say, I know it's here, then there's still a duality in this. I know it is here. The real thing is here. I have a glimpse of this real thing. You see? But I can say also that one who says, I have a glimpse of this, is also seen inside this, which is not a glimpse. Like we're looking from back to front in a way. Yeah.
Can I speak from experience? I mean, it's from...
Speak only from your experience.
In that moment, I was that love.
Yes.
But it was...
Yeah.
You know, it was not full because there's something hesitating, I think. And but I know it's not gone.
Yes.
I know it's you know, I know it. But and that's why it was such a revelation.
Yeah.
But it's also really quite scary, because it felt really overpowering.
Yes.
Like, can my body actually cope?
For whom is it overpowering?
I know.
Look at it. For whom is it overpowering? Because the words go first.
Yeah.
They say if it's overpowering. Now we are comfortable to say it is overpowering. Then I ask, but who is actually overpowered? Can it be identified, the one who feels it is overpowering? Or can you feel the overpoweringness of it? On whom is it impacting, this overpoweringness? Of course something is going to happen. Something feels like in this moment something is shaking or something, and it's like whoa, whoa, like I'm going to vanish. But there are thoughts also. Yeah. And they create a sort of fear, background of fear, that something is going to happen to the me, that maybe I'll just vanish.
And also like this cannot be true
Yes.
because it was so big. It's so small and yet so big.
Yeah. Which makes it untrue?
Probably more true. Because I use ego when ego starts flaring up. I'll say, oh, good, because I know I'm onto something. So it's when it steps in like that.
I still point you when it steps in, and the one for whom it steps in, this one, we are stopping there. No, we are stopping there. We are commenting from there. Like this is the fact of who I am. When I come here today, I'm reporting from this position. Yeah, this thing happened to me, and that me, we feel yes, that me is growing better, is coming more closer to the truth. Sometimes it has ups and down days and so on. So something is stopping there, but I'm not stopping there. I'm looking at that and say, why are you stopping there? That is something you're also experiencing. A deeper understanding exposes that even this is not the full truth. It's just the idea you have of you, who you are. You come to a place. It is. I'm hesitating a little bit to talk about it because I don't know if you will allow yourself to come inside of the inside itself, of your own self. Maybe you want to listen from the other room. I speak and you listen from the other room. Then if you feel it's safe enough, you will put a foot in and test it out. So I don't know. I don't feel that feeling of auspiciousness when I speak about it now. I feel like I'm talking and we're in, like someone said earlier, like we're in church. I am talking, you listen. But I like to feel that you're present inside and follow the words inside your own mind and heart to see if you can confirm, is this true or not? I'm not here to speak to anybody's brains. I don't even speak to you as a person even, that you are a person and I'm a person, talk to you about your personality. But more on the basis that consciousness is conversing with consciousness about consciousness. If I speak to you merely as person, then again, or even if you listen as person, though I am speaking to you as consciousness, your mind is fighting and you will take the side of your mind because you've done it before. That's what you're accustomed to. Even though it bites you, it's at least the devil you know. Like this. So I am not enjoying that generally. I'm not speaking, I know where you're coming from, but generally I'm speaking like this in Satsang. To see who really is really up for that. Otherwise, you'll continue your practices, your sadhanas, but you're not really going anywhere. Just someplace in your mind, you think, oh yes, I'm getting better. My meditations are getting better. But better is not good enough for freedom. Freedom has nothing to do with feeling better. I feel better today. Yesterday was not so good. And that's very poor.
And that's why I came to see you, because I don't want to fall into that trap.
Yes.
I want to, I suppose, because my mind wants to do something now, to better it or to go deeper.
Yeah.
Or,
but it has that freedom because you insist for the moment still to be the person that it can have a relationship with. You see, mind, you have a relationship with your mind in its psychological aspect because you're still holding on, embracing to an idea of being a person. So of course the mind you're on the mind's territory. He's going to come and visit you whenever he wants. You're in my kingdom. I can talk to you any way I like. That's what it's going to be. And even when you go to bed and your conscious mind closed down, I'll come to you unconsciously, subconsciously I'll come and I'll sit in your head. And I'll shake around in your head, see if you can get rid of me. The only place I cannot come is deep sleep. But I'll wait for the waking state again. Yeah? And yet what is is not conquerable by the mind. It is only a question perhaps of some distraction. It's like our waking state is almost spent in distraction. Distraction means to be concerned with all the things which are passing, which are really transient. Pouring out so much energy for what you cannot keep. Everything is moving. And yet, in knowing yourself, all these things are still here, occupying the appropriate time and the appropriate manifestation time for you. You don't have to control. You're not here to control and compartmentalize the world and put it. We are living like that as consciousness. We as consciousness are living the life that generally we see as a reflection of humanity's self-portrait at the moment. But we have so much higher options also. Such higher options. That within us, which is the truth, which is really what we are, and ever what we are, always what we are, remains unblemished, unchanging, awaiting discovery. It is not waiting, it simply is. But the idea we have of who we are for the moment must come to recognize that and merge in that deeper understanding. As long as we have this commitment, this faithfulness, this loyalty to our own projections of who we are, then we delay in our perfect understanding. There has to be somehow that willingness. I don't know what is the word. Willingness, openness, determination, urgency. I don't know. Something is cooking up to become urgent, and then nothing can stop you. The only way that we can be in that type of dilemma is by having our minds in a state of separation. Because the greatest thing you can give to anything is your attention. If your attention starts from the place of the person, then you're already inside the box of conditioning. Completely. Something is maybe half out, half in. Not sure where to move. As the doors close, you decide whether you want to be in or out. And that division leads to a kind of sense of separation upheld in the mind. So, where are you seated? If you make your stand in the place of the mind, in the personality, then the Supreme is denied access, actually. Such is the play of consciousness. If you come to the door and say, merge me in you, then you have made a step. If you say, show me what you have, and think about it, then again it creates another kind of play.
The urge is there to
Yeah.
go all the way.
Yes. Yeah. Suppose I tell you that all the way that you need to go is right here. Right here. Somewhere through the door of this body into the realm of your own self. You are there. Wherever you find yourself, right there is a door to your inmost being. And there's no distance except the distance of a thought. You imagine it's something I have to do. What should I do? Say no, it's not do. Not do. Just be empty and be open to this. To see. Not to see something else, but to see in terms of to understand inside your heart. What is your true position already? But because we identify as being a person, then somehow this is where everything comes to the person. And then the person thinks, what can I do with all of this? Whereas for myself, I have to say now and again, I've thrown it away already. But maybe for a while we think, but this, don't want to throw it out because there's some precious stuff in there. So that keeps you on the nipple of the mind. By throwing the mind away in the way that I speak about, then the mind comes back, but it comes back the best of the mind that I want. I throw it all away to get the best of it. You try and keep it to take the best out, trouble. Who understands this thing? I throw it all away, I get the best of it back. I keep it and try and take the best out, I get the worst of it. I don't want to see you walk back to your chair in any way like you came. But what will unfold out of this moment, I don't know, something. Your life has to be magical, no? As life really is. Your life has to be magical again, as the rest of life is. Don't settle for being Mr. and Miss Predictable. And don't try to be unpredictable. Find that thing which is not high maintenance. Ego is high maintenance. You may become and you think, well, maybe I need some advice. What is the advice? Off with your head. Best advice. How will you follow that advice? Give advice, advice is for your head again. More stuff. This you don't need anymore. This you has to disappear. We have such affection. I say we have such affection for the infection. The infestation. You may ask, but how to go beyond it? This is the thing. This is the only subtlety that you have to somehow, where the caterpillar becomes a butterfly and then sees it is all dream. But I don't want to create anticipation, you see, because what I am pointing you to is already established, you see. It's not an event.
I've cleared most of my life out, and I don't feel particularly. I don't feel like I lose. The risks, commitments, and stuff. That is all gone. And it just feels like an emptiness is opened up in my life.
Yes.
For this to happen.
Yes.
And I just wonder. I'm still seeing it as a process.
Yes. Who is this I that is seeing it as a process? Come on, let's get together now and be one in this. Who is the one who needs to be looking to see it as a process? I'm going to challenge you today. Okay? Because you're far too comfortable with our own kind of conditioning. You have to come out, or at least challenge your conditioning a little bit. You're so accustomed to addressing yourself as this, yes, but I see this and what I believe. And so, who's I? Who is the I? Because it's not, is it the body? Is the body talking? The body is just facilitating the talking, but it's not the talking. Is it the pure self, the pure being? Is it the God inside you talking? Or is it the mind and the sense of being that is combined? Something is speaking, no? And it's because of this why it is perceivable. The one who is speaking this, try and identify and see if it can be identified. This is, where did these words emerge from? See if we can find who's the speaker of the words.
There's nobody. I know that my presentation is only thought.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So
But if it was any other thought, you dismiss it. The presentation, you say, is only thought. What about the presenter? This you have to sort out and find out today. Because I would like to meet all of you like today is our last day. I would like to meet people like this because it has been my good fortune or something to meet many, many hundreds, thousands of people. And I just feel now inside, I don't want to meet more people. I want to meet more and more people. I just want to meet someone or the kind of person, you see, I've met some, who is just available to be themselves. But you have to be something. You want to be somebody. You need to be something. Like, if there was no other beings in the world, could you not be yourself? Or is it that the very fact that there are other people mean that you have to be what you imagine they project and need from you? And to live in the idea of what people need from you is like a double failure. It's like a double failure. Because for the most part, you're wrong. And then on top of it is a waste of time also. You're not happy either way. The people you're trying to please are not happy, you're not happy. Why go through that mess? And it's not about arrogance. It's intelligence. Who is speaking this thing? You see? Isn't that also something that is, you're aware of that also? What is it that is aware? Is it a person? When the person is what you are aware of the person you can see. Your troubles you can see. Your memories you can see. Your education you can see. Your past you can see. Your projections about the future you can see. Your body you can see. You who see all these things, can you be seen? Who are you? What does it look like? Does it look like your face? That which sees the face, does it look like the face? Look in the mirror, look at your face. That which is seeing the face, does it look like the face? Does it have, is it black or white? Is it what particular, is it male or female? Just come to see this. Just, I don't know what to say to you.
I've experienced again, feeling like my body is of glass, see-through, completely gone. Only eyes, looking very joyful.
Yeah.
Very just being, really beautiful.
Yeah.
But when I experienced that, I wasn't aware of all this yet.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. But it doesn't have to be beautiful.
no.
Things don't have to be beautiful. They don't have to be ugly. They don't have to be anything. They're just your seeing. And if you're seeing without it needing to be beautiful, it needing to be anything, just the seeing is occurring also quite spontaneously.
But when I say beautiful, I meant like it felt joyful
Yes.
in me. I wasn't
Yes.
necessarily
Why
watching
is it not
beautiful.
feeling joyful now?
It still does. It still does feel joyful in the back.
And in front?
In the front, I suppose now there is a lot of mind because I'm arguing with myself. And the other thing what I'm thinking is I need a quiet space to do this.
Yeah, no, you don't.
And when I'm at home, I'm thinking I need to be with Mooji.
Yes, no, you don't. Actually, these things are things we create a lot.
Yeah.
Conditions, more and more conditions, more and more confinement. I need to be this, I need to be that. I need to go home, light some incense. I need to take the phone off. You're saying, I need to do all these things to be myself. I said, no, you're always yourself. Believing that we need all these things makes you into a trained parrot. You need to know when you speak like this, when you do something. You don't need to know anything at all. Actually, you don't need to know anything at all. Can I say? You don't need to know anything at all to be. Then you allow something just to drop. This effort to try and be a certain way. And something simply just gets unburdened. And then space remains now for that to show itself. Not how the mind portrays it to be or wants it to be, but as it is.
I think probably that's where I've gone wrong. I was searching for it. And
Yes.
I've not waited. I've just not emptied and waited.
Mm.
You know.
Even waited you don't. Now I'm speaking to you now. I'm speaking to you as the Buddha itself now. Now you don't have to wait, not even waiting for it. Waiting for it, if you purchase this idea, it puts it again at a distance and in time. Like it is something that obeys time or distance. It puts it like this. And it is not. At another point, I may find myself speaking like what you just said to somebody. Just keep quiet. Just keep quiet. I won't say wait though. I just say keep quiet. Can you keep quiet without waiting? Usually when we keep quiet, it's kind of waiting. What's next? What's coming? But that which is not even keeping quiet, it is quiet. But the mind is always on your back. It's always in the back there. But how to keep quiet? How to do it? Well, of course, not by listening to the mind.
Mind is out for now.
It's out for now. Be prepared for mind to also be in or out. Not because the mind arises mean that it is trouble. It's only when you engage with that and you believe in an identity that has a relationship with the mind in that way. Somehow it is possible for everybody that you come to that wonderful awareness that is not on and off. There's no on and off button for awareness. It simply is. The waking state arises in it, the dream state arises in it, the deep sleep state arises in it. Time, the sense of time arises in it, the sense of change arises in it. Everything arise and go, come and go in it. But in our human culturing, we are somehow addicted to activity and with a sense of doing, that everything should be an achievement. How are you going to achieve yourself? One of these two statements is true. You achieve yourself or you be yourself. Or you are yourself. But while we have a strong conviction that we're a person, it seems like to be yourself will take effort and will take practice. And like this, practice was born. And practice has its place. It is also a legitimate expression of consciousness. For to suit the stage of consciousness when it is highly identified with the personality, then some practice, some sadhana, some spiritual practice is required to help the consciousness to be reorientated, to reorientate the consciousness back to its own self. So that which is not waiting, nor waiting, but the awareness is of that. What is that that simply is? And don't give me answer. You must be the answer. Other questions, you will receive the answer. But this question, you must be. Other questions, you can give an answer to it, because they are objective questions and they will be satisfied with objective answers. But this is a subjective question. Who am I? Who perceive everything else? So for this, an objective answer will not do. Is there a subjective answer? Yes, you are the subjective answer to your own question. But we are so accustomed to thinking of ourselves as personality that the mind presents the personality back to you and says, look, you see, but you haven't got it. Will you accept this response, you see? And also we are imagining through the mind how it should be. What kind of answer does Mooji expect? What is it? Is it like somehow I should become like I should levitate maybe? No, it's not levitate, no, levitate. I should give like the original answer. No, it won't be like this. Then what can you produce to satisfy this question? So of course some frustration is there and some fear comes. Because what is this? Some kind of Zen koan or something? Some kind of strange question, the metaphysical twist or something? And the mind goes bananas with this type of question. What does he want? I mean, I gave him everything I read in the book I said, and it's still not that. Doesn't know it's not that. It's not this, it's not that, it's not there, it's not here, it's not none of these things. Then what is it? It's you. No, but it can't be me. This can't be me. Which you are you? You see, if you listen and listen with the mind, you're going to feel frustration, you see. He says, but I mean, every question have an answer. But this question, he won't answer me. I can't answer you with merely a mental answer, because it will not satisfy, not for very long. 3 minutes, and you'll be thinking about Pizza Hut again or something else. You will not stay with you. I want an answer which you cannot avoid. You cannot get away from this answer. Every other answer you can throw away, get away. But can you get away from this one? This discovery, not just answer, this discovery, you see. St. Francis of Assisi, he said, no? What you're searching for is already where you're searching from. a good clue. Rumi, a great poet saint, Persian man, says, I've been knocking at the door. It opens. I have been knocking from inside. Where are you? As a matter of fact, where is the location of that which can perceive inside and outside? You can see inside and outside. You can look inside into the realm of so-called feelings, emotion, thought, dreams, memory, and outside into the phenomenal world of form. Where are you looking from? Where is your position? Where is your location? Who are you? There's the version of you which is our conditioned identity, or programming, you may call it like that. But this is also just another passing phenomenon. That which witnesses this phenomenon you cannot give an answer from your mind for this. And only your mind gives answers mostly in these things. So this is one question your mind cannot answer now. But the answer has to come. Or the answer has to be, more accurately. Or the answer has to be recognized. What is happening inside you now?
And when I search for that, I feel empty, actually. And it's peace.
How long will this emptiness last? Are you looking at emptiness, or are you looking from? Question. Make sure we're not answering from mere conditioning. Conditioning happens even through language, deeply. Don't touch that old self. These words have some meaning somewhere within you. Don't touch this old idea of I, the one that has some reference point, yes, I did this and last week and at Zimar or something. Don't touch any of these things.
It just feels like is.
Can it just be a momentary feeling?
No.
Because many times you come to this place, you say, I just feel like I'm just this. But is it a feeling even? It's subtler than feeling. You're in recognition of something which is passing. That which is it also a state that is passing? And therefore you must be greater than that state, because you'll watch the state passing and you'll still be here. You're not passing. So when you say there seems to just be, it seems to just be it is? Is it the same as yourself? Which is more permanent, yourself or that which you say is? Or is there any difference between the two? Are there really two? Would it is and I am be the same thing or different thing?
I think that's the same. That feels like.
Are you still here?
I am.
Yes. As what? As what are you here?
It's consciousness, or that's a word.
It's okay.
Not as mind or body.
Can there be anything that will emerge out of this that can cause you separation? That can give you the fence, okay, I got pulled out again into the mind. Now you should be able to inspect this and clarify if it's true.
It feels like a conscious choice.
Okay, it's good enough. It's conscious choice for the moment.
Just to stay out.
Yes,
and
meaning,
to be one.
yes. The choice will be either I go with my mind, invitation to go and engage with mind, or just to stay as a witness of that.
Not to get pulled in
Not
the
to get
mind.
pulled in, not to
That
get
decision, like I know it's
this is
there.
good enough for the moment. Stay with this then. Normally when somebody comes to this layer or place of seeing, stage of seeing, I say go home, get in your sleeping bag, inside the sleeping bag of consciousness, and zip yourself inside and contemplate. Only this. Let your attention be fixed only on this.
Okay. Thank you.
And that home can be right here. It doesn't have to be your physical home. Slip inside the sleeping bag of your own self and contemplate this. To other people, you'll appear to be still doing the dishes or sending your emails and doing it. But inside, they don't know that you're zipped inside your sleeping bag. You're inside your cave. And this is an unshared cave. Not you and anybody else is there. Yes, yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
Very good. Oh. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thanking you. I wonder what we have here today. Beloved Master, when I've tried to express my question, nothing tangible came. My attention cannot persist on anything in the world for longer than a while. So it looks like sort of laziness and it brings troubles. I feel the purpose of this letter is to make your word, in bracket or silence, a laser beam that shoots straight into my heart and finish me off, so that sweet awareness would not be eclipsed anymore. Greatest gratitude and love for my Master and Sangha. Just read just Poland. Is a word name called just in Poland? It's spelled DZAST. No name. Yeah. Just this. My attention cannot persist on anything in the world for longer than a while, as is the case anyway. So it looks like it looks like a sort of laziness, and it brings troubles. I don't see why you must come to that conclusion that because your attention cannot persist or on anything in the world except for a short time, that necessarily it would mean laziness or troubles. This is something, maybe a thought that we've picked up from the mind, an interpretation that is not wholesome, it's not true. See, I feel that the purpose of this letter is to make your word or silence a laser beam that shoots straight into my heart and finish me off so that sweet awareness would not be eclipsed anymore. The important thing is that sometimes you can look intently at a certain thing without losing the consciousness that you are looking, that the looking is taking place, the focus is taking place, but at the same time, the awareness is not taking place. The awareness just is. That action, that activity is arising in awareness and is also in time it will pass. But something here is unmoving. You see? And awareness cannot be eclipsed, because even eclipse you can see. Even with the fleshly eyes, the biological eyes, you can see an eclipse. You see? So, for there to be an eclipse, there must be at least three things. There must be the thing that I want to see, there must be myself who want to see it, and there must be something that's blocking me from seeing it, isn't it? That's what they call eclipse. So then you say that the moon is eclipsing the sun. I can't see the sun because the moon is here. That's eclipse. Can anything eclipse awareness, you see? Because it would mean that awareness is this thing, I am here, and something, my thoughts are blocking me from seeing awareness, which cannot be true. Because it is with the very awareness that you see that even this idea that something is blocking awareness is seen as well. You see? It's like saying that the things can appear without space. The space must be there already for them to appear. The actors will not perform, you see, until the audience will not, the actors will not come on the stage until the audience is seated. When the audience is there, then the actors will come and perform. When you are there, the thoughts will come to you. The thoughts cannot come without you. That's why I say you are there whether thoughts are there or not. But thoughts cannot be there without you. Please come. Okay, you come first, yeah. Hey. You look very happy.
Yes, very happy. So happy. Yeah. I was driving from Faro yesterday, and it's it's just like an instant conversation going on, and that happened like this. It's like I really want to be free, yeah? And instantaneously, well, you are free. The truth is you are free. And then the next thing came, it's only the thought that I'm not free that it doesn't even prevent me from being free, but it's the experience of whatever you want to say of not being free. So this was yeah, this is,
and it's not just the thought, I am not I am not free is that there's a thought I am not free believed in.
Yes, yes, yes,
Isn't
yes.
it?
See,
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Okay, so the next thing then, what makes me believe the thought? And the answer also is habit.
Habit, yeah.
The habit of sort of the groove of the personality is
Yeah,
this is it. So and also what's going on is like, so this can be seen, but also there's like in the groove of sort of not believing that I'm free, there seems like there's like a process going on where understanding keeps deepening. It's like I can rewatch a satsang of you, for example, and the first time I thought I understood everything, and now it's understood on a different level.
yeah.
And it just seems like it doesn't stop. And I'm so happy to see all the people in the Sangha, and my heart is so big, and I'm so in love with you.
I'm speechless. It is purely your shine shows. You see. Because gradually what is happening is some amount of effort is put in the beginning, and it starts to just become an unfolding, like waves of illumination start to arise within you, like almost involuntarily some support is coming from deeper down to somehow guide the attention back into the heart all the time. Becomes much more easy. Your life becomes lighter, more open, more kind, more soft, more flexible. Mm-hmm.
For a time after meeting you, there was like a fear almost that I would die or leave my body, or you would die before somehow. But now it's not there. It's like even when I go back now, when I'm not in Portugal, and it doesn't make so much difference.
This is very good. They are becoming universal again. You see, because for a while the consciousness is kind of like needs a location very strongly, and then it really matters where you go, each place. But at a certain stage, it just comes that the scenes change. The scenes are changing, but the seer, it remains the same. One time, the scenes was very important. I was in this scene, but now the scenes are changing, and something remains constant. You see, it's all right for that to change, but when the feeling of this change, then there's some trouble. If everything is changing, then there's a kind of chaos. But even chaos is seen, you see, from a place of non-chaos. And even for a while it felt that the apparent chaos that was perceived outside was being perceived in the mind, and the mind felt internal and true. Now you can say, but even this, it's in my world, it's okay. I've given complete permission for my mind to be chaotic now and again, or all the time if it wants. I'm not standing in the way. I'm not the traffic policeman anymore in my own head. Let everything go as it goes. I am a kind of witness, but now even the witnessing of these things are not compulsory. Sometimes I'm tired of witnessing. I turn off. I don't want to witness. It's like I'm not interested in what is witnessed. You see, sometimes unless the mind says something has happened, it doesn't register that anything has happened. If I say, pick two of you and say, okay, what is happening? One may say, well, actually, so many things are happening. So many things. You cannot count. Look, there's an ant walking on the floor. The breeze is blowing. Look, the clouds have gone. Oh, the smell of jasmine. The light is very bright. All these things happening. Okay, thank you. You What about what's happening? Nothing's happening. And I have to say both answers are true. Because it is the experience of the experiencer, no? He's saying that. Or you, in fact, you are determining it also.
Please do the eyes.
Thank you. A bit more. It's so warm, it's the same temperature as outside, so I don't even know to go in or not. Very good.
You good now?
Yes, yes, yes.
So one more thing I just want to share.
Yeah.
I remember one day in Rishikesh you said, you don't need any more books. No more books. You know, it was like something in the Satsang you said. And that very day I went and bought a book. I don't know. I don't think it was. I don't know if it's a rebel, but it was something.
I'm
Actually,
just
the book is I Am That,
I am that.
Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I read it slowly, I reread the chapters, and it's such a joy for me.
Yeah.
Such a joy. So I'm glad I disobeyed you that day. Yeah.
Well, I said you don't need.
I understand actually what you
And
said.
you cannot live your life from a book only. But if your heart and your mind is sensitive enough, subtle enough, open enough, you can read the book of life anywhere you see it also. You will learn from a worm, the movement of a worm, or the leaves blowing in the wind. They will tell you something that will remind you of home somehow. I'm not speaking poetry at all. I'm telling you as it is. When the mind is subtle enough again, you learn from everything, good and bad, so to speak. Pleasant or unpleasant. Everything is your teacher. Or your reminder, you can say like that. Your guide. Yourself also. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard you speak many times of the Sadguru, the inner guide, and actually, it's one of the chapters in the book where something became the coin dropped in the machine. Actually, with this, and this is very.
It's good.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Very great. I like how you ran up here.
The one who's inquiring, that one also doesn't exist. The seeker. And this has been the most intimate, the most close thing, somehow. And feels like this I was the one that was hiding in God's pillowcase.
If you put a new title, perceive it in a different way, then the seeker, which takes the form of an entity or something like that, and change the word from the seeker into the intellect of the being, the intelligence of being, which is in effect the kind of the mirror of the Absolute. Because somehow it is the game, we cannot deny the game of life, that through this very process, you may say, of manifesting itself as all of this magnificent universe and all the living beings that come and go in the dance of existence, and that it brings into play the function of mind and intellect, of memory, and the capacity to create and to imagine and to reflect and contemplate upon itself, and that it creates without any, so vast is its creating capacity that unendingly it's refreshing itself in every moment with fresh expressions of creation, and then to function in each body as the intelligent principle that must somehow sail the ship of this body on the ocean of existence, and to navigate beautifully and in very choppy waters also, sometimes very beautiful waters, and respect that functioning of the intelligence of God, to perceive all this mighty play, to look upon it with kindness and love, and to see a perfect reflection of itself in the mirror of manifestation, and to ensure that no part of its expression comes into conflict with itself. And so wise is that functioning, that even apparent disharmony is part of the total functioning of harmony. And then you can then say, well, that thing also does not exist, or all of it exists, but some aspect of it is only an impermanent aspect inside the great permanence, or something like this. And then you begin to thank life, to thank God, thank the pure self for the expression of life and the play of individuality, and for the joy of perceiving through the senses, and for being able to contemplate and reflect through the mind, and to find your way home again. You see, it is only the illusory identity posing as an autonomous individual from the personal side, as the ego, that we must look upon and say, yes, that is not, it appears to exist, but it is not a truth. It is only an appearance. Because neither the ego can be found, nor can the self be found, nor can the mind be found, nor can the presence be found. And yet you cannot deny your existence. You cannot say, I don't exist, because you would have to be an I to say, I don't exist. You have to be there to say, I doesn't exist. You can say, I don't exist as that, because that was a gross limitation. I only appear to be in this form. But actually, I am formless. You can come to that understanding. Say that the forms, they are transient, they are appearances inside that which is timeless. But inside your heart will grow a great gratitude, a great joy, a great peace for all the mysteries of life. Even for your joys and your sorrows, you'll pay respect to life for that. And you'll make use of all your experiences again to find your way home. And home is not in another place. It's right here, in the subtlety of your own being, you come to discover that. And something says, glory to God. That what joy, that here I am as consciousness itself, appearing as a part, but never apart, never apart from. You see? And in that seeing, something comes beautifully to rest. And sometimes we come to see, but that's what's been missing from life. I have not known rest, real peace, unshakable peace. That peace is so great that even my mind can be in turmoil and still it does not shake the peace that I am. Some of you begin to know now, discover now, that even your mind can be in the state of a tsunami, but still your heart is at rest. You've come to know the difference between yourself and the psychological expression of the mind. And no, I am not that. Very good. Very great.
Looking back into my life, since I was 1 year old until now, through the different stages of my body, how it changes, the different states of my mind through the years, and my feelings, there is something that is always the same in every age, since I was 1 year old, 10, 20, 30. But it is mixed. It is like a big bucket, and inside of it it's the thoughts, it's the feelings, it's everything inside. And but it's also one with the body, and not so with the mind and the feelings, but it is also the body. And I don't know what this is.
It is okay as an experience. It feels like that. There are many different ways in which we perceive of it like that. But it is not quite like that. Without the body, without it, the body cannot be. But it is there without the body also. You see? This is a fundamental observation. That yes, it has been the constant in the play of inconstant, in the play of transience. It has been the it's like the thread through all the beads. It connects all of them somehow. They cannot be without it. You say, but it feels like it's mixed. It appears like this. Why does it feel like it's mixed? Because even in the state of ego, the ego is still the self. You see? Even in the state, there's nothing you can be. Even a demon, it is linked ultimately to the self. Nothing can exist outside of it. And this full contrast between heaven and earth, between all the different beings, all the variations of expressions, all of them have the same DNA as the Absolute. They take their birth in that, they arise in that, they dance in that, they dissolve in that. And you can see, even from the birth of this body, many things have also died in this body. Your thoughts die, your ideas about life die, your cells are also passing. This is not the body your mother gave birth to. It's grown out of it, unfolding, no? And your thoughts, many ideas you had that were fundamental to who you think you are. But they're like old clothes, you wear out of them and they're no more. You can't go and try them on again because they're finished. You've passed through those stages already. You see? So there's aspects of ourselves which is only transient. They are coming and going. We need not be so concerned about that. And that is the trouble, because very often we are still locked into the grip of the past. The actual thing that we are so much attached to, the thing has already exhausted its expression, but it's being perpetuated through memory. And so you're creating a relationship with your particular way of remembering that thing too. So when one looks upon these things, either because you make effort or that the light of consciousness reveals them to you, you come to see, but wait a minute, it's not true. It's just what is believed here. And what is believed here actually contributes to the flavor of how life is and how it is tasted, you see. So something begins to somehow, it doesn't have to unmake them, it only has to recognize the truth, and in the recognition of the truth, the untruth cannot live anymore. It just fades away like that.
I was trying to to find a quality in this, and there is no quality.
Yes.
It is no interesting me. It is not. If I look back all the events, it's still the same, always. It's not interesting, it's not popular, it's not sociable, it's not outgoing, it's nothing. It's always the same. And I thought, all these years I thought that this is the body.
But you should be happy now.
I am.
Yeah.
And when I look back, if I look back at a memory now, and I look back at it 5 years before and 10 years after, it's still the same. I cannot say a word, sensation, feeling. It's still the same thing always. It's like I was carrying myself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And even memory.
I cannot believe it's this.
You can't believe that it's.
But
Yeah.
I cannot believe that this is the same and this is it. It's a zero. It's nothing.
It's not that kind of nothing. There's two kinds of nothing, as I said before. There's a nothing which comes from the mind, which says nothing is nothing. Depressed nothing is nothing. And there's a nothing which is emptiness.
Yeah, it's not another like I don't worth something.
Yes.
It's nothing.
Yeah. Yes.
It's completely uninteresting.
Yes. Yes. Okay. It is true. It is true. That comment comes from your mind, which is always hungry for something to be interested in, isn't it? So the mind also is hungry for things to be interested in, and it itself wants to be interesting.
The word comes from the mind, but I don't care even about the word now.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay to be it's okay.
Yes. I think they are coming to something very complete. It's very beautiful that somehow you find that divine zero beyond the concept of zero. It's not dead. It's beyond being alive. It simply is.
It's like a background. It's always in the background.
Yes. It appears as the foreground. The
Yeah.
foreground is changing, and gradually being swallowed up. So in the end, when the foreground is swallowed up by the background, there's neither background nor foreground. There's only what is. You see? Now, let's talk about what we cannot talk about. Now, if you've come to that beautiful stage, then I'm very, very pleased with you. Very pleased about it. But let's clarify something. People sometimes, there's so much fear about this. And why there's fear about it? Says, well, I mean, I don't have no life and I have nothing at all. And no, actually, if you speak like that, you still have you. You can go on a merry-go-round of me, still, because it's still not that yet. Because in that, there is still, your senses are still functioning. You're perceiving, your ability to perceive life is still functioning. You can enjoy a joke or something like that. You can taste your meals. In fact, everything actually have more luminosity in it, because why? The ego is not there. It's not judging. It's not this. You are maybe fully alive in some way, you can say, and yet not in the way that you thought.
You're just living.
Yes. You are not selling the idea very, very well at all. You're just living.
Since
You are not just living. You are life itself, isn't it?
since I was a kid, I was hearing other kids or other adolescents.
Yeah.
I want to become an architect. I want to become a doctor or something.
Yeah.
And I never want to become something. And this was always my stress.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to want to become something. Everybody wants to become something. I never had plans about my life. I never had anything.
Yeah.
And this has been stressing me all of my life.
Yes.
And then, okay, I've done something because I had something to do. Everybody's doing something. And now I realize that I was correct.
Yes.
I didn't have to do anything. And all my, as a child, I was so stressed to do something. I have to become something. Everybody has plans or dreams. And I never wanted anything.
Yeah. Yes.
I was
Well,
feeling lazy in
yeah.
some kind.
Yes.
So much guilt all these years for nothing.
No, the guilt was for something. And now your freedom is for nothing. You see, because actually, what I have to try and also encourage people, they say, well, I mean, like, so if everybody realizes itself, then the world is just going to become full of lazy people or something. Nobody wants to do anything. I would say something, actually, that activities will still continue because you are not the creator of activities. Activity is not in conflict with truth. You falsely imagine that you are the doer of activity. The activities manifest. When you realize yourself, will the tree stop growing? Will your fingernails stop growing? Will you stop experiencing? No. But this stress that you speak about, which everybody has been inheriting that stress from your family, from people, and you pick it up because it is passed on to you by people who clearly love you, but they give you some stress. Now I gave birth to you, now you must become a doctor. So I don't want to be a doctor. I don't even want to see a doctor.
But they were saying me, okay, don't worry, you will find something.
Yeah.
And I don't wanted to find something.
Yeah. Yes.
And I always had this stress when no, I can't speak.
No, now you have to speak. We all want to hear you now.
I'm feeling too dizzy. I always wanted to become not to become something. I left my job And I said, okay, I have time, I have some money, I will find something what to do. And as the time passes, I don't find anything. Because first I was searching with my mind, and I realized I can't find it with that way. And now I'm just thinking that I don't have to find something. I won't find anything. It will simply, it will come.
Yes, something will find you. If
As
it needs.
everything in my
Yes.
life came.
Yes.
My job, I didn't choose it. It came, really.
Yes.
And
Yes.
my relationships came, and everything came. You came, and the bad came, and the good came, and I don't have to do something.
Yes.
I can just sit all day.
No, you cannot just sit. Even that's not up to you. You will sit if
Yes,
that
I don't
comes.
mean to sit and be lazy, but
Yeah.
I don't have to wait for
Yes,
something.
you can sit inside your own heart. This is the one thing everybody has missed. To sit inside your own heart. Everybody tell you sit in this chair, sit in this office, sit in this place. Sit, stand up now, do this, do that. But nobody tell you sit inside your own heart. So now you are now. You're right in saying, because everything came. Everything came. I was just saying today to Kalina, no? She was there today, she asked me a beautiful question today. Because she was asking question, she wanted to invent. She and a friend, they came together, they want to work on some kind of time machine. Kalina, where are you? Look at there, she's at the back there. Stand up and see. She has this question to ask me about time. They wanted to, she said, I don't know if it's a foolish question. I said, no, ask me about it. Said, me and my friends, we want to invent something. We have this idea that we can create a time machine now. I said, it sounds a good idea, let's have a look what you can do. Because myself, I said, I've also watched some YouTubes about these things, about the time travel and all that. She likes time travel. But I said, I'm going to give you one simple exercise you do for me, and then I want to check with you. I will ask your father, because she has to go today. I said, if you can determine how you will spend the next 5 minutes, give an account for every 10 seconds. In 10 seconds, I intend to experience like this, and on 20 seconds I want to be feeling like this, and in 30 seconds I want to wish for an ice cream, and then this one I want to do that. And see if you can do it even for 5 minutes. If you can plan 5 minutes of your future and be successful at it, okay? And if you can do that, then I will see if I will support your time travel exploration. I want to hear from your father as well. Will tell me if this is possible. If every time you write it down before, so you cannot cheat, and then you say, okay, now it's now 30 seconds. Now I will be feeling by 40 seconds. I'm gonna have this thought, and I'm gonna feel this way about this thought, and see if anybody can do it.
If we do it, it will not be like that.
It will not be like that. You spoil the experiment for her.
And these words come out from a person that always used to be a control freak.
Yes. That's why they call freak. Control person has to be called freak, because you're trying to control what you cannot control. You make yourself sick and frustrated and full of judgment because you cannot control. So what a beautiful discovering, isn't it? What a beautiful discovering, because from now you will observe life taking care of life unfolding out of itself. And what a great unburdening. What a great unburdening, you know? That you are not having to control or dictate. You're not the manager of existence. And now you have become a passenger. Now. an audience to your own existence. At the same time participating, something moving through the body. You cannot say, I'm going to spend today, I'm not going to experience. I'm having a time off from experiencing. I'm just going to be here. No experience. Can you determine such a thing? No thoughts will come today. Today is voted thought-free day. Okay. Can you do it?
I think this whole thing happened because I always fear death a lot. And then, with some help, I realized that it's not death that I'm fearing of, because I don't mind if I die. It's always, it was more in my mind the way that I'm going to die. And yesterday I realized that I'm feeling to be alone, not to die, to stay alone, and to stay with myself alone. And that's why I always have been a little bit uncomfortable with the hours at night. And you're saying that everybody goes to sleep happy, but I always were very unhappy to go to sleep because something didn't want to go to sleep, to go into this deep sleep, and I was stretching and controlling many times not to get sleep. And last night I decided with myself that I will go back to the dorms where I am alone, and I will sit there, and even if I am not to sleep, I will not be afraid, or I will be afraid, but I don't care. And something cracked, and it's not so awful after all. And I mean, I enjoy spending time alone, but especially at night, something wakes up from deep inside. You know, it's the existence. I don't know why this happens at night and not for me, and not at daylight, but at night a fear comes out, and thank you. Thank you so much.
Very good. Very good.
I'm judging you a lot, and you and everybody,
Yeah.
and everything. Only God that didn't judge until now. But I have done this other times.
Sometimes it happened that because you came and it was such a chance for you to really wake up, then the mind puts the biggest obstacles to try somehow to block your freedom. It happened like that with many people. Also today, also Niraja came and told me, oh, one person now, she's meant to be coming, but she's going through some panic attack, some fear, like a big resistance to come. I know it's so often. Why is so much resistance to come? Because you're coming to freedom, and something inside is in denial of that, resisting that thing. Why does it come like that? You see, so it's very good, very good. Some people, they show their happiness with tears, and others show their sorrow with laughter. You're a beautiful example. Very great, very great. Very good. Okay. I'll try one of this. Dear Mooji, since I awakened, I became aware of some things I didn't know before I started to do yoga and feel very different, and in brackets, in a good way. After a car accident, something inside changed, and now I suffer from panic attacks. I am 25 years on this planet. My question is, why did this happen? Why did it crush me so badly? I feel big fear inside, like never before. I am scared of it. Namaste. Martha Ban. Martha Ban. This question, you should not bother with this question, why did it happen? A waste of time. Why did this happen? Unless I don't see what is good. Why did this happen? You are asking this question because somehow you're not as yet making use of what this accident brought you. I remember I gave the story of one woman, one girl I met in India recently in Rishikesh. And she came, she asked, please can I see you? It's very urgent for me. So we met in my little room and she said, I have everything in my life. I am not short for money, I have good family, I have a place to live, I have good friends. But one thing is missing, and that is that I have very strong judgments in myself, against myself. And this makes me very unhappy. I said, oh. She says, I want to get rid of it, I want to stop this thing. So I asked her, unusual question, is there anything good about it? You told me, of course, it's a terrible thing, I'm always judging myself, always judging. Is there anything good about it? She said, but how can there be anything good about that? It's not, how can there be anything good? I said, no, think about it. Because you speak of your family, you speak of your friends, and like this, you have all these other things. Of all these people, you alone came to satsang. Why you come to satsang? Your troubles brought you to satsang. And they are helping you to search for something deeper. Because you have this difficulty. If everything was going wonderful, perhaps you would be very shallow-minded. You'll only be interested in buying a new handbag and looking smart or something. But because of this tendency, it forces you to go more deeply inside yourself, And that search brought you to satsang. And maybe through coming to satsang, you're going to make perhaps the greatest discovery of your life. That you're not the one that is being judged, than the one who is judging also. That they're not your real self. It's just your mind, it's your conditioning also. All this is coming up for you. You're aware of both this. The judgment and the one who is judging, and the sense of being the one who is judged. But all of this is only some play going on in your head, and you're going to overcome it. You have to give it up because it is too painful. It takes a lot of energy to be the ego. It takes no energy to be yourself. And after we talked, she said something when she was leaving. She said, this is the best day of my life. I learned something so profound for me today. Because for so long I'm stuck in my mind obsessing about this self, which is not really true. It's not really true. It's always changing. It's like a continuously changing self-portrait. If you can look back over your life at different time when you have really checked in with yourself to say who you are, which version of yourself is the most true? If you had to be reborn, which one of these characteristics, which one of these persons would you want to be? You see? So, after car accident, something inside changed, and now I suffer from panic attacks. I'm 25 years on this planet, you see. Also, another girl I met, she was a DJ. She told me I was a DJ. And I was very, very confident with people, very confident with people. But then something start to change, start to get these kind of fearful feelings, and now I'm very uncomfortable with people. So what is happening here? See, somehow your life is going through some change also, and you have to find out your real self. Neither of these are you. You have to find out which is the real you. The real you is not changing. And that's going to be the greatest discovery you're going to make. Because when you discover the unchanging truth, then you can be comfortable with that which changes. But when you think you are the one that is changing, then you never feel stable. My question is, why did this happen? Why did it crush me so badly? I feel a big fear inside, you see. My eldest sister now, she passed away not long ago. And she was shot. She was shot accidentally by police. No, she shot in her bedclothes in her room, and they shot when he came to the spine, and then below her here down, she could not walk, could not move, nothing. Just the arms can move. And so she was confined from someone who was moving around in life and so on. She was confined in a wheelchair or in her bed for many, many years, from 1984 until just maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. And one time I spoke with her, she said, in many ways this is a very good thing happened to me, because it alone could stop me and force me to reflect on my life. So sometimes things like this happen, sometimes sicknesses, sometimes some intense experience happen. The passing away of someone you know very dearly, or falling out of a tree, being hit by a car, whatever thing, food poisoning, whatever comes. And through these very painful experiences, they help to drive your consciousness to find something more substantial inside yourself. I remember some words from Christ. He say, "It is better to lose your limbs and enter into the kingdom of heaven than to have a nice healthy body and go to hell." What is important is who you are internally, what you discover internally. Your injuries might even be internal, but they are not eternal. Something is eternal. Maybe your injuries help you to discover what is eternal, what is timeless. Make use of it. But if you go to the mind will start to feel, what has happened to me? What has happened to me? And find out something happened to your body, but who is the you that it happened to? Find out. Just stop for a moment and receive this question like it is the first time you ever hear a question like this, and really try to understand what the implication of this question is. What is it driving at? Something has happened to my body. Something says, why did this happen to me? It's not the body that's saying, why did this happen to me? It's not the pure self that is saying, why did this happen to me? It's your personality, your idea of who you are says, why did this happen to me? I deserve better than this. And nobody was given a piece of paper to say how long you're going to be on this body. Sometimes in coming to that recognition deeply within your heart, many people, only when they are told you have a terminal illness, you got 3 weeks to tidy up your affairs, then they start to live. They have the 3 best weeks of their life, because they say, oh my God, up until now I've just been wasting my life in such silly ways. Now I'm using these 3 weeks, you see, to find out what is true. And I told you the story of one man who came and asked me, can I see you privately? I asked, why do you want to see me privately? He told me, the doctors tell me I'm dying. Yes. Well, I come to see you because I want to die before I die. I want to die before I die. What it means. I want to wake up to what is true, what is real. So far in my life it has not happened. I'm just moving about in my own dream. I want to be awake. Let me die awake. So like this, you see. Why did this happen? Why did it crush me so badly? I feel big fear inside. Yeah, but the fear comes and goes also. Like never before, I'm scared of it, you see. But these are waves, they come and go. Waves come and go. Waves come and go. If you are constantly in a state of fear, constantly in this pulsation of fear, then it's going to push something to the extreme. Either you're going to wake up or something, or you have a breakdown or something's going to happen, in which case, either way it goes, it can lead to an opening inside you. Some people, they came into their awakening through some kind of breakdown even. Go so far, they crash. And after this, something wakes up, comes again fresh, like it's reborn, renewed. Like the refresh button has been pressed. Come back into their existence again. Okay. Very good. So just for a couple of minutes, if we can just we'll not take any more questions now. If you can simply allow your attention and your mind just to settle. Maybe because of the talk and what we have been sharing, something may feel a little bit stirred up or misplaced or something. This is quite okay. Don't try to control anything at all. Simply be aware. If there's some noise or some movement in terms of feelings or emotions or thought, simply just let them float by. Whether the mind is moving noisily or softly, it doesn't matter. Simply just be aware. You're aware that you are sitting here. But if any sense to interpret anything arises inside, simply detect that, but don't follow. Don't follow any of the movements of the mind for a moment. There's a space in which the mind moves. They're like clouds floating by in that infinite sky of being. Simply be here. Suppose there was no next thing, no next thought or experience. You're simply resting in your own self, beyond need. There's nothing to control, nothing to change, nothing to fix, nothing to heal. nothing to hold on to. Leave everything as it is. And then there is simply a space, the space of presence, uncreated. It is not a product of imagination. It is not a moment in time. It simply is. It is without shape. It's neither male nor female. It's just a space of being. And it has always been here. In front of it and within it arises the activities of the mind and the body. This is also okay. There is no need to identify with any particular activity or action or any thought. Simply be aware. And also, do not hold on. There's no need to hold on to any self-image. Nor intention. There's no need to create or imagine. And you're not waiting. Be completely alone. There's nothing to control. There's no need to control the senses. They are not offensive. There's an innocence there. Simply let them function according to their own law. Be aware of the sense I. Be aware that even this sense I itself, in the main it is phenomenal, meaning it relates to person or to past. It is possible that the feeling or the sensation I denotes also the absolute. But now it is qualityless. Come beyond all layers of the mind, all thought, beyond emotion. Let them be there. Don't suppress. Simply move more deeply within your own self, into that space which is indefinable. Here you don't have to be anyone. Here there's no career. There are no titles. And be aware that you have not created this space within yourself. You're merely discovering the ground of being, the realm of being. All that you've heard today and felt today welcome what resonates in your heart. And in the right moment, you will find that the urge to reflect will come when it is time for it to come. There's no need to control anything here. So in a few moments, we'll draw an end to this meeting today. You will open your eyes, everything is fine. It will make no difference. The space within you is not converted into other states of being. It is constant. Other states arise in it, but it remains unaffected. It is pure. Very good. Thank you. Om. Could we have some music today? Bit, and then we'll finish off like that. In the meantime, I would like to just read one verse or so from this book anywhere I can find. This is from a little bit from the Ribhu Gita. I have just opened, so we can just the verse that comes. The self, meaning the pure self, the self indeed is all this. Of this there is no doubt. The self indeed is the only existence. Of this there is no doubt. The self indeed is the supreme abode. Of this there is no doubt. The self indeed is the supreme reality. Of this there is no doubt. The self indeed is your own nature. Of this there is no doubt. The self indeed is of the nature of the Supreme. Of this there is no doubt. By attaining the certitude that I am the self, dear one, achieve conquest of thought. Very good. I indeed am the supreme Brahman bliss, the eternal. Brahman means the absolute being. I indeed am the supreme Brahman bliss, the unsurpassed. I indeed am the supreme Brahman bliss, the real. I indeed am the supreme Brahman bliss, the permanent. I indeed am the supreme Brahman bliss, the endless. I indeed am the supreme Brahman bliss, the undivided. I indeed am the supreme Brahman bliss, the non-dual. Always meditating like this, attain peace. What the sage is saying here, he's speaking on behalf of all beings. So when he says I, it is not personal I, it is the I of the self. So when you hear this, you read it or hear it like you are yourself saying it. This is what thank you. Very good.
So this is a call and response song, so please sing along with your heart. Thank you. Om Shri Satya Devi Hari
Om Shri Satya Devi Hari Om.
Kali Durga Devi Shakti
Kali Durga Devi Shakti
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Om Shri Satya Devi Hari Om.
Om Shri Satya Devi Hari Om.
Kali Durga Devi Shakti
Kali Durga Devi Shakti
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Satya Devi, Hari Om. Om Shri Satya Devi, Hari Om. Kali Durga Devi, Shakti.
Kali Durga Devi Shakti.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om Shri Satguru Ramana ki Jai. Papaji ki Jai. Arunachala Shiva.
Thank you for your attention for just